All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Taylor Kanost here, and over the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to walk through our possibility of some severe storms coming our way late tonight and early tomorrow. The SkyWatch weather team has issued a weather warn day for that severe weather threat, and basically what that means, it's just an extra heads up for you all at home to give you extra awareness about the potential for damage to life and property. That threat is there. It's maybe not our highest threat we've ever seen, but there is the possibility of some damage due to these storms. So here's a snapshot of what we're expecting between 3 and 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Yes, it is going to be a morning event. We're watching for the potential of severe thunderstorms, in particular damaging straight line winds and possibly a tornado or two as well. Those are going to be our primary concerns with this storm system. There is a lower threat for some large hail and the low threat for flash flooding, but those are going to be our primary concerns and something we'll be paying attention to closely overnight tonight and early tomorrow. Let's start with the regional view of the radar picture. What we have going on right now is completely dry conditions in South Carolina. Even Georgia is mainly dry at the moment. We do have some thunderstorms that have developed across parts of Alabama and Mississippi, and it's eventually going to be this cluster of storms that moves our way late tonight and early tomorrow. One of those storms currently tornado warned near Huntsville, Alabama. Everywhere highlighted in yellow is currently under a tornado watch. So that stretches from Mississippi and North Alabama through most of Tennessee up through Kentucky and Ohio, an area that's seen quite a few tornado warnings over the past few hours. This is a rather big system impacting much of the country. Even on the backside of it, there's a lot of heavy snow up in Wisconsin, and that's going to move into Illinois later on tonight and tomorrow. So a very dynamic system. You know, we see these every April, and this is just another example of a strong spring storm impacting much of the country. Here's the severe weather outlook for the rest of the day today and tonight, where you see the red up near Cincinnati and Louisville, Kentucky. That's where we have a level 4 moderate risk for severe weather in place. Big chunk of the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys are under that enhanced risk, that 3 out of 5. Basically, we're going to see strong storms continue to develop over this terrain for the rest of the day and into tonight. And then that's going to march eastward, making its way toward the Midlands as we head into the late night hours and sticking around tomorrow morning as well. And we will still have severe weather ingredients in place, even though it is going to be a late night event. Typically, during the overnight hours, severe storms tend to weaken, and it will do that a little bit, but still, we will have enough ingredients in place where severe weather will at least be a possibility tonight. And then here's the outlook for tomorrow, and basically it's just a continuation of the storms we get late tonight and early tomorrow morning. These Storm Prediction Center outlooks that you see behind me, those are issued for the time frame from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. the next day. So that previous map I showed you, that's until 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, and then this will be this next one here. This is for after 8 a.m. on Wednesday. Bottom line, everyone in the Midlands can consider themselves under that level 2 out of 5 slight risk for severe weather. So I'm going to take a bit of a deep dive here into some of the ingredients and why we're watching that potential for severe weather. And I'm going to start with the wind. We have a lot of wind shear in place tonight and tomorrow morning. What that means is we have increasing wind speed and changes in wind direction as you move up in the sky. Here's a look at our forecast wind speeds at 5,000 feet above ground. Green is a sign of about 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, and then take a look at this burst of strong wind that will move our way late tonight and early tomorrow morning. This is 6 a.m. on Wednesday, where you see the oranges and the reds. That's a sign of wind speeds around 60 to 80 miles per hour, 5,000 feet above the ground. Now you might be wondering, why do we care about what's happening 5,000 feet above the ground? That's important because sometimes those winds that are above us get ingested into thunderstorms, make their way down to the ground. We call those downbursts, and those strong winds aloft can make their way to the surface, and then once they make their way to the ground, they spread outward and can cause damage. They can knock down trees and power lines, and that's actually our main concern with these storms late tonight and early tomorrow. Now, one thing we do need, and the biggest wild card, is do we have enough instability to get severe weather? If you don't have any instability, you're not going to get it more often than not. Now, this right here, these numbers you see in this red, this is a product we call CAPE. It's acronym for Convective Available Potential Energy. Oftentimes, most of the time, you want that CAPE number to be greater than 1,000, and we're not going to get there, but with how much wind shear we have in place, we don't necessarily need that much CAPE, that much instability. If we even just get a little bit, that would be enough to give us that threat for damaging straight line winds and possibly a tornado or two as well. I wouldn't say our tornado threat is huge, but it is something that we need to pay attention to late tonight through tomorrow morning. This is actually a parameter that we call the significant tornado parameter that kind of gives us a rough idea of if we have the ingredients we need for the possibility of tornadoes or not. And that is kind of lighting up for us early tomorrow morning, right around 6 a.m. up and down that I-77 corridor. It's not going to stay that way for long. By late morning, it clears well to the east, and the severe threat in general will be dropping by the time we get to lunchtime tomorrow. Bottom line, long story short, tornadoes, damaging straight line wind, again, are the primary concern between 3 and 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Hail and floods will be the lower threats. I'm not completely ruling those out, but they will be on the lower threshold of concerns compared to that tornado and damaging wind threat. Since there is a tornado risk, I want you to have multiple ways to receive warning information. Even when you're asleep tonight, you need to have a way to be awoken, whether that's by a weather radio, wireless emergency alerts. Pretty much everyone gets those alerts sent to your phone. We do also have, of course, our SkyWatch weather app. If you go to the settings and then notification settings on our SkyWatch weather app, you can toggle the sound on so that when a particular warning of your choosing is issued for your location, you'll actually get an alarm sound or some sort of tone sent to your phone, and that can help wake you up in these overnight storm situations. So again, go to settings, then notification settings, and make sure that sound is toggled on if you do want to be woken by warnings overnight tonight, and certainly you do if we do have those tornado warnings that develop overnight. Let's get Future Watch here and look at our timing overnight tonight. Showers could begin as early as 2 a.m. I think the show really gets going for the western Midlands around 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. For Columbia, it probably starts around 5 a.m. and it will remain a threat for Columbia through 6, 7, possibly as late as 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Here's 8 a.m. and that threat starts to shift a little bit farther south and east. Still a problem for you folks in Orangeburg over to Sumter and Bishopville. By 9 a.m. it's really only hanging around Clarendon County at that point. 10 a.m. it should be to our east. We should be done with the storm threat as the cold front pushes eastward, clears that threat out of here, and in fact the rest of the day we'll likely see increasing sunshine coming our way on Wednesday. So if you want a snapshot of the timeline, anywhere between 3 and 8 a.m. for the areas highlighted in yellow, Newberry down to Lexington. For areas like Camden, Columbia, down toward Aiken, 4 to 9 a.m. is our window for possible severe weather late tonight through tomorrow. Orangeburg over to Manning, 5 to 10 a.m. Looks to be our best chance for severe weather farther to the south and east. This is going to move through pretty quickly, so as a result, I'm not anticipating heavy rain totals. There could be some pockets where totals are over an inch. I think for most of us, we're not even going to get that. So with that in mind, again, the flood threat does appear to be pretty low. While the storms are going on, there could be some brief ponding on the roads, and with this coming through during the morning drive tomorrow, yeah, that may cause some issues, and you may want to give yourself more time than normal for that morning commute. Again, if you're going to be out and about early tomorrow, make sure you have the SkyWatch weather app on your phone. Now is a good time to download that before the active weather comes in. You can have alerts sent to your phone for your particular location or any other location of your choosing. We have the live Doppler radar on there, so you can track those storms on the go as well. And of course, our forecasts are regularly updated on that app. So it's a good resource to have for you to stay weather aware as we move through the night tonight and through the spring season in general. One last look at Future Watch before I let you go. This is our current situation. It's quiet in South Carolina. If you have evening plans, it's going to stay dry. It won't be until after midnight that this complex of storms that will continue to strengthen this evening will move into South Carolina again well after midnight. Our window of concern here in the Midlands is between 3 a.m. and 10 a.m. After 10 a.m., that cold front is going to clear that severe threat to the east. Behind it, it is going to be a windy afternoon. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour will be possible, up to 40 miles per hour on the lakes, and there is a lake wind advisory in place for both Wednesday and on Thursday. So we do have a couple of fairly windy days in front of us, but the rain and storm threat will be gone tomorrow afternoon. Our focus the rest of the week will be on the wind and the cooler air moving in. Highs today were in the mid-80s. They're going to be down to the low 60s for most of us on Thursday, so that's just another sign of just how strong this storm system is for us here around the Midlands. I'll be here throughout the night and through tomorrow morning. Meteorologist Clara Faith will be joining me in the morning as well to track these storms. And if we do have any warnings that require your attention, we'll be sure to tune in here on social media. We'll be cutting in on Watch Fox 57 as well with those latest severe weather updates. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you following along, and stay tuned for the latest information on Watch Fox News tonight at 10. In the meantime, you can visit WACH.com for the latest forecast information.